welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing an in-depth makeup routine, so if you want your face looking flawless, airbrushed, and full glam, I'm your girl. This is my very first video on this channel, so considering I love makeup, I thought it would be very fitting. Let's get right into it. So I'm putting my hair back right now, and I'm going to start by doing that. Now that we look like an egg, let's get started. So I think skin prep is the most important thing. Your base cannot look flawless if you don't have skin prep. I think I have perfected my skin prep, honestly. Like, these products are my tried and true. I've tried a lot of different foundations with these different products too, so I think this is definitely my thing. So first off, I'm starting with the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow PHA plus BHA Pore-Tight Toner. So what I do with this is I do a little bit in my hand, right? And then I go all over my face in my T-zone. I feel like you don't really need toner under your eyes because your biggest pores are in your T-zone, especially if you have oily skin. I have dry skin, so that is not the case for me, but yeah. Then after that, I'm gonna go in with the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewdrops. So here, I go all over my face. You put under your eyes, beside your nose. Okay, now you rub that all in. You want your base looking glowy before you start putting anything on, because even if you're a matte girl, your face needs to be moisturized. If you start to do a matte face and you don't moisturize your face, it's just gonna be cakey and it's not gonna blend seamlessly. And you know, that's what I found every single time I did my makeup a few years ago. I wouldn't use skin prep, and then once I started to use skin prep, my base transformed, even if it was just moisturizer. So next I go in with my tried and true. This is the best moisturizer I've ever tried, especially if you have dry skin. I think it's something that just really gets in there, and like the flaky parts of your skin, if you have dry flaky skin, it definitely gets in there and moisturizes it. So this is the Skin Fix Barrier Plus Triple Lipid Peptide Cream, and it's a pump. So you just pump a little bit, and I put it all over my face. This is really like the moisturizer that I think goes well with my foundation. And speaking of foundation and base products, I think if you're gonna splurge your money on any makeup thing, you're definitely gonna want to splurge your money on base products, because I find things that matter the most is your foundation, your concealer, your skin prep. But like little things like lip products and highlighter and maybe like a powder blush or powder bronzer, you don't really need to spend a ton of money on it, if that makes sense. Like for me, my high-end products are my foundation and my concealer. Now that you have your moisturizer in, I'm going in with the Bobbi Brown face base. This is a mini, and it's lasted me from April last year, April 2024 to now. And usually I'm a type of person who goes through makeup products pretty quickly, so if this lasts me that long, that's crazy. But I do have to say this product is at a high price point, so if you don't want to buy the full size, definitely get the mini because it's $30, but it lasts a long time. I find this really just gets in there, and I've noticed that when I started using it, it made my base look smoother. So I think it's just filling in lines or maybe little pores that you could probably see without it. Now that you have all your skin products rubbed in, you go in with your eyebrows now. This is my tried and true e.l.f. brow lift. If you have thick eyebrows like me and the hairs are really long and you want to slick them down, this e.l.f. brow lift, it's the best thing, like the best thing I've ever tried. I have went through the thin eyebrow stage, the pomade brow stage, like all of those things, and this isn't like, I think I found my brows, the type of brows that I like. So you're gonna go around and you're just gonna slick them up, and when you brush them down, you're eventually gonna go over the top. They're gonna be thinner than what you would be slicking them up. So I don't leave the top, because I think if you leave the top, it looks messy. you always have to shape it. Now that we look like we put feathers on our eyebrows, we're gonna shape them, don't worry. So I'm gonna take the spoolie and I'm gonna go across the top like this. And I'm just gonna keep shaping it until I get my desired look. So this already looks 10 times cleaner than it would here. And I'm just gonna do that to the other side, and sometimes after shaping them, you have to go into the top again, like the top of the brows, and you have to space it out, like refluff it out because it gets too bunched up. And that's what I do every single time I do my eyebrows. Okay, now that your brows are shaped, you're gonna go ahead and press them down with this side of your spoolie. To me, this just locks them in and really gets them stayed. Now, my brows can survive a tornado, a tsunami, any natural disaster. They will be ready. They won't move. And that's why I love the e.l.f. brow lift. I think it's the best eyebrow product in the drugstore. And it's like $8. Pretty good for drugstore. Okay, now that I'm done my brows, I'm gonna take a Q-tip and some micellar water, and I'm gonna go around the edges because if you just leave the residue, it's gonna puff up. Your foundation will puff up, or your concealer, whatever you like to put around your eyebrows after you do them, it will definitely puff up and it won't look good and it'll look cakey. So you're gonna want to take away the residue with some micellar water, just around the edges, not on the eyebrow because then you'll take off product, but just around the edges. Now that you're done your eyebrows, you can start with your base, and this is another one of my well-trusted products. It's the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I think e.l.f. has so many dupes too. Like, this has been talked about so much, but e.l.f. is like the best dupe person on the makeup market. I think they make some of the best products, honestly. Like, I love their Power Grip Primer. It's one of the best things I've ever tried. And before I started using this, my makeup did not look good. I think after 3 years, I have finally perfected my base. Because when I started really doing makeup, it wasn't the best, but honestly, to me, it takes practice. It takes practice, and you even can discover different techniques yourself and what you like. But you're gonna put this all over your face and everywhere, literally everywhere, so your makeup can stay. This is the one thing with gripping primers. So gripping primers are gonna grip your makeup and keep it in place the whole day. If you don't have a gripping primer on your face, your makeup will definitely slide around, especially if you like dewy makeup. But for matte makeup, it'll lock it in with sweat and oils that could come and things like that. And that's why I like this primer, because I do sweat throughout the day. Like, if I'm in a hot room, I will start sweating. It's an issue, but we live, we survive. Now, after you've done your primer, you're gonna go in with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I have 2 different shades. One is my summer and one is my winter. And I'm in a middle skin tone right now for my summer and winter shades, so I like to mix them. I'm gonna start in with Cream Puff, and I'm gonna put this under my eye, like here, right in the corner. And then I'm gonna put a little dot here. I'm gonna do that on the other side. You're never gonna cover your whole eye with concealer, especially with the Too Faced. I think it's one of the most high coverage products on the market. And to me, it's the best. And if you know how to work with it, it won't crease. Because I know some people are like, oh, it creases, all that. But after learning how to properly set concealer, it doesn't crease. And I'll get into that technique later. There's a very important technique that I'm going to use in this video that will make your concealer not crease. And the lighter color I'm going to use is Snow, which I put over here. So now that you've done that, you put your concealer exactly like this. It goes dark, light, dark. You're going to go in with the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. This is something I hold close with me. It is the best foundation I've ever tried. It doesn't pill, it's lightweight, and it goes amazing with your skin prep, and it'll blend so well no matter how much you use too. So again, I do go in with 2 different shades. I got this one in the summer and I got this one a good while back. So I go on my hand, and you're gonna notice I use my hand a lot, like a palette throughout this. And I like that. I like using my hand because it does warm products up too. So I start out with the lighter foundation, and then I go in with a little tiny dot of the dark foundation, and I just go and blend it on my hand like that. And then I dot it on my skin. If you start out by blending with, like, if you put your foundation on your beauty blender, it's gonna soak into the beauty blender right away and you won't get any coverage. So I like to dot it on my face. And I think that really distributes the product without it getting absorbed right away. Now I'm gonna go in with a wet beauty blender. It's in the middle of damp and wet, and I'm gonna blend all around my face. I find even if I use a lot of foundation, the beauty blender will absorb the excess foundation that I don't use. And always blend down to your neck. If you don't blend down to your neck, it's not going to blend well, because you always have to do that. Because you don't just want a line of foundation and then have just your skin there. You want to blend down, especially for full B. Now that you've blended out your foundation, there's a very specific technique I use when I do my concealer. But before I get into blending my concealer, I am going to take Cream Puff again and put it here around my nose. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna blend your under eye like you would normally, but you're gonna angle your face down. So you look scary. You're gonna look like, ooh, it's giving Wednesday. You always want your concealer to be maybe a shade lighter than your foundation, because it's gonna give you that bright under eye look, and then the rest of your face will look bronzed and nice. So you're gonna blend out under the top of your eyebrow with the concealer that you put right here. Go like this. Take your powder puff, okay? And with the powder on your powder puff, you're gonna go in, and if you set just in this spot, you will not have creases, and I can guarantee that. So remember, while you're blending, look down, make sure this is spread out. You can do your mascara face, do that, and then set it right away after. I look like a bug right now because I haven't put any concealer on my eyelids yet, but we will get to that. Before that though, I'm gonna blend up this concealer into my forehead. And even though there's foundation on my forehead, it's just gonna give it that little bit of extra coverage it needs. And if anybody is wondering, the pressed powder I use to set my under eye creases with is the Fit Me Maybelline pressed powder in translucent. So it looks like this. So now, after I'm done all of that, I'm gonna go in with my Cream Puff, Born This Way Too Faced Concealer, and I'm gonna put dots on the top of my eyes like this. So you're gonna do the same exact thing you did for your under eyes, but with the top of your eyes. After I'm done blending, I'm gonna do the exact same thing I did under my eye, which is set the crease parts. So that's gonna be a majority of my eye, and I'm just gonna go like this. Okay, now that I've done both eyes, I'm gonna now go in with bronzer. So now I'm going in with the Patrick Ta bronzer and cream duo in the shade She's Bronzed. So I love this stuff, and you know what, you don't need much. I go in with my Real Techniques brush in 200. These brushes are my holy grail. I love them. And I'm gonna start bronzing. So I start from my temples, and I get a little bit more, and then I blend down and I start here. It's like right at this part of my ear, and then I blend across. And after that, I take a little bit more, I blend up into my high points of my cheeks. I think when you're putting on bronzer and blush, your bronzer is always gonna go on the high points of your cheeks because you wanna make your cheekbones look lifted and your face look lifted. So that's what I do with my bronzer. And then you do the other side. So now I'm gonna lift this headband back a little bit to the point where my hair is now exposed, and I'm gonna go right inside my hairline, and I'm gonna start bronzing my forehead. I do one side and then I do the next side. So now that that's done, we're gonna bronze our nose. I love bronzing my nose. You know, she's my best friend. She's always there for me. So we're gonna do like a button nose type look. We're gonna go under our nose here. And this is gonna make our face look lifted, like our nose up. So then we go across. This is like, I think this is like the standard nose bronzing, contouring technique. I'm then gonna go up on the bridge, and then I'm gonna blend into my eyebrows. So it's gonna go like whoop, like a little line. You never just wanna stop here. You always wanna blend up into your eye and have that, you know, blended, and it's seamless. So now we do the other side. Now, you're gonna take out your concealer again. This is specifically to get that button nose look. So for this, you're gonna need a really tiny, tiny, tiny brush. It's the fine liner brush from Real Techniques, and I literally can't read this. It's number 311, so 311. That's gonna be your brush, and it looks like this. For this, you have to be precise. So you're gonna go along your nose, like this. It's gonna be a little line. Then you're gonna go along your bridge. You're gonna go with your beauty blender, okay? And you're gonna take the fine, tiny point and just blend it out. And after blending, you're basically gonna have a dot and a line. So this looks really intense right now. To fix that, we still want that dot and line, but we're just gonna put a little bit of bronzer on the edges. And boom, you're done. Your nose is done. You're snatched, chiseled. So now blush. I'm gonna be using the Rare Beauty blush in the shade Happy. So I'm gonna take it and it's gonna go on my brush. I've been doing that instead of putting it on my hand because I think it just works better, honestly. And I put it on my brush. You can put it on your hand too. I just don't like having like the blush right on my hand because it does get stained sometimes, which is like really bad. But I'm just gonna warm it up and blend it out on my hand. Never put the Rare Beauty blush directly on your face, especially if you do a lot of makeup and base products. It's just gonna take it right off or it's gonna pill. You go right on your cheek, just with light pressure. And for this, I'm using the Real Techniques blush brush in 400. And you just go right on your cheek with a really light hand. And then, boom, you have blush. And you're gonna go in with powder products later, so don't go crazy with the cream blush. And I'm gonna put that on the highest points of my cheeks. And I don't ever touch like here, really. Never touch where your T-zone is. So this area, like this area specifically, is off limits. You only want to really go like here and forward. Okay, so I usually use the Urban Decay, but I'm out. I don't really have any left, and I just don't want to spray it and have it be dots on my face. So a dupe or a really good drugstore spray is the Milani Make It Last Original. But I'm going to go and set my face, so. I'm gonna really let that set in. While we wait, we're gonna prepare our powder products. So what I do when I do my makeup is I layer cream, then powder. So I do cream blush, cream bronzer, then after I set my face, I go powder blush, powder bronzer. Now we are going to go in with the angled brush. This is from one of those winner's kits. I just go in with the same mapping I did for my cream, but with the powder. Now we're gonna go in with powder blush, and it's called Christmas Morning. So if you can find a shade similar to that for me on any other brand, that would be great, because when I run out of this shade, I'm gonna be really sad because I love it. I love it so much. Okay. We are officially done doing our base. Now, we're gonna set it. So I go in with the Maybelline Superstay Powder Foundation, and I use that as a pressed powder, and it gives so much full coverage. If you don't want like super full glam, don't do this step, but if you do and you need that extra full coverage, go right ahead. Best step I've ever had. Like, I love it. And I'm gonna go in with my powder puff and I'm gonna start setting my face. So just set it like you normally would. And that would be like under your eyes and things like that. So I'm gonna do that real quick. I'm just gonna start going under my eyes like this. So yeah, I'm gonna set my whole face and I will come back to you when I'm done. Now that that's done, you've set your face with the powder foundation. You're now gonna go in with your pressed powder. And yes, I sound crazy right now. I just put double powder on my face. This is for the full matte effect. And this doesn't look cakey. Once you're done your face, it looks perfectly fine. But this is like your baking step. You know that term, when you bake your face, but instead of baking it with loose powder, you're gonna do pressed powder. And it still comes off. It's just a different form, and I think it's less cakey. You always wanna start with your pressed powder versions first, and then you can put the loose powder on your face. But after this, I find all I need to do is dust it off with loose powder. But the new thing is I'm gonna chisel my face here. So I take the pressed powder, the Maybelline Fit Me, so no more powder foundation, and I go like this. Okay, I'm done that part. I think this, the Maybelline Fit Me loose finishing powder, I'm using the color Fair 05. I think it's amazing. It's really good, and it's a really affordable version if you don't want to splurge your money on a powder. So I'm going to take some on my brush and I'm going to dab it on my hand like I did with my bronzer, and I'm just going to go throughout my face and start patting. You never swipe, especially with the powder puffs. With all the pressed powders, you noticed I was patting. Just pat, 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 pat. Never swipe. If you swipe, your makeup's gonna come off. So that's done. We're done with our powder. And this is our crucial step for now, our base, our final crucial step. Another layer of setting spray. This is gonna melt the powder now. It's gonna melt the particles together. I find it does when I go up close. It melts it together. If my skin does get dry, it will melt it, and it looks great after. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna set my face, and then we'll move on to the next steps. Now that I'm done with that, and my face is fully set, I'm gonna go in with my blush, Christmas Morning, with this brush. This is a random brush. I don't know the name. And I'm gonna go on my nose, and you'll already see it's having a difference. It's just livening up my face. And if you don't like the whole blush on the nose look, that's fine. You don't need to do it, but I like how it looks. I think it brings in dimension instead of just having the blush on your cheeks. Why not have a little bit on your nose? I put a little bit on my forehead, and I go with a little bit on my chin. Boom. Now we're gonna do some eyeliner. So I take the thin angled brush from Real Techniques. It's number 313. And I take Down the Chimney from this palette. And I'm specifically going under my eyes like this. Okay, and then I do the top of my eyes. So now I'm gonna do the other side. So now I go in with my eyeliner, and I'm just gonna do normal eyeliner, but I'm gonna do it off camera because I'm gonna mess up. My eyeliner is like this, and I do just like straight out, a little bit of cat eye moment, but I really go in with my eyeliner. Me and eyeliner are best friends. Like, honestly, when it comes to my eyeliner, I don't play. So now I'm just gonna do mascara before I do eyelashes, but I go in with the Sky High Lash Sensational Mascara in Cosmic Black, and I just do a coat. Like, I don't go crazy. I don't go to curl my lashes and then do that because the fake falsies are gonna cover it anyways. So now I'm going in with the Duo Brush On Adhesive with vitamins. Everybody knows this one. I went on roller coasters, okay, with this lash glue, and my eyelashes did not fall off. And those were intense roller coasters, may I tell you. Like, go invest in this right now. I'm telling you. So I'm gonna put this on like eyeliner, just on my top lid. So it's gonna go like this. Just like eyeliner like that. And you do that on both eyes. These are the Kiss Couture Matte Black in MTM01, and they're the soft matte finish. You're gonna take your first pair, and you're gonna make sure you have your mirror right under your eye so you can look into it. And you can use tweezers if you want. I prefer using my hands. It gives me more freedom of where to place my eyelash, but you're gonna start where you put the lash glue, and this is why I put it on like eyeliner, because it makes it easier to put on the lashes. You're gonna start like this. Make sure, just put it on your first corner, and then you're just gonna go along like this. And you're gonna adjust it. And this is why I wear eyelashes. It completes the look. It takes like 5 seconds to put on. And yeah, so I'm gonna put on the other one. Now for my lip combo, I'm very excited to show you guys this. So to start off, I'm using the NYX Professional Suede Matte Lip Liner in the shade Free Spirit. Okay, now I am using this random Too Faced lipstick. I don't think this is on the market anymore, I've checked, but it's like a mauve pinky shade. And now I'm just gonna dab that on my lips. And then I go in with the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. I am running out. This is like my 5th bottle. They're so good. I use this shade 008 Stone. Okay, now for the final step, I use the Revolution Pout Bomb Plumping Gloss in the shade Candy. So I originally bought this to do as an actual like lip color, but as you can tell, that would not look very good. So now I use it as a topper. I just make sure I have a good amount. And I go like that. This is the second last step, and I go in with the REM Beauty highlighter, and it's in the shade Miss Mercury. I'm literally covering that. Miss Mercury. So my highlighter brush is from Justice, from when I was really little. If you knew Justice, you knew Justice. Like, oh my gosh. That was my childhood. So I go where I did the little line and the dot, and I put highlighter on it. Now I go in with this random brush. It's from Winners, I think. And I go on the highest points of my cheekbones, and I just lightly just dust it on. This highlighter is amazing. Look at the shine. And I do that on the other side. And now officially our last step. So I'm gonna go in with the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil. And it's waterproof and long lasting. And I've had so many people ask me, how do you get your waterline to be so black the whole day? How does it stay? This is my key, and this is in the shade Perversion. So I'm gonna take my powder puff, and I'm not gonna use my finger to pull down my eye, but I'm gonna do the powder puff, and I'm gonna go on my waterline. Now I'm gonna do my top waterline, and I will be right back. Okay, and now that I've done my top waterline, I'm gonna go inside the outer corner of my eye and like this. And you're done. This is my full makeup routine, very in-depth, very full coverage. As you can see, this is the final makeup. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you can stay for more. Thank you for watching.